What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Bet 'em and Pick 'em. It's week number 9 in the NFL. Ricky is back. Rob back to being out. I think Rob's just mad because we lost one of our Survivor teams last week, Ricky.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I know you felt scorned by the fact that we had to lose one of our Survivor teams because we should have been using.
That's true. If we had just done what we should have done in week 3 and locked in the Bengals against the Jaguars, we wouldn't have fallen into that trap.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great to only have one entry left, but at least that will make us focus on our one entry. And I don't know. In hindsight, obviously, it always makes sense that we should have gone with the Colts. Mike White was just a dink and dunk 1 week wonder. I know he gets hurt yesterday.
We didn't have the Colts. We didn't have them.
That's what I'm saying. In hindsight, we didn't have them available, you're saying?
No, we didn't have them available. We used them against
Perfect.
I don't remember who we used them against.
Even better, because then I don't have to have the regret.
No, we used them against, I don't know, week 6. Whoever they played in week 6. We used them. I can tell you. The Colts played the Texans. We used them against Davis Mills.
Okay.
So, yeah, they were unavailable to us. And it's good to see that we have absolutely no consensus this week. Not one bit. So I want to use the Saints along with Tyler as his third choice. You want to use the Rams with Tyler. I can't really get behind the Rams this week. I can't. They just have the dream spot against the Jaguars, and I'm not going to use them up in a blah spot when nobody has them left. Only 15% of the field has the Rams left, and we still have to go 20-0. And so sign me up for week 13 when we get to use him against the Jags, and everybody else has to figure out something else.
Yeah. I get that. But
if I want the spot, that's one thing, but it's I'm not wild about it. Sunday night in LA, how many fans are going to be there? We don't know what this Titans offense is going to be. Neither do the Rams. It's just, I just don't know how the Falcons are scoring. If they keep playing Kyle Pitts out wide, I don't know how the Saints score.
Yeah, but we really want to put all our hopes and dreams on Simeon when we're probably a week away from Taysom, which I think the offense will run much more smoothly.
But what spot are we going to use them in?
I guess
home game, week 16 at home against the Dolphins. You want to do that?
I don't hate that idea.
It's not great. I don't hate it, but I'm not ready. I'm not running to, use them. And let's see, who do I have? I have to look up the week 16 schedule. Week 16 NFL schedule. I have the Seahawks in my mapped out plan. Who do the Seahawks have? Seahawks have the Bears at home. So I guess I could get the argument of wanting to save them, but it's not I'm not gaga about it. I could get behind the Ravens. The Vikings suck. When is everyone going to come to my side? The Vikings suck. They're not good. Ravens off a bye. Let's just do it.
True. I think I would prefer the Ravens to the Saints personally. But we would have to get everyone else behind that. Off a bye, I do agree that prepared Harbaugh, the reason that everyone loves targeting him early in the season is because he does come prepared. So prepared Harbaugh off a bye, 6-point favorite. I feel better about backing Lamar Jackson than I do Trevor Siemian personally.
Yeah, I just don't know how the Falcons are going to score any points. Any. Gilmore's just going to lock up Pitts, and that's good night. We saw what happened last week.
Yeah,
it's just good night.
Are a very good running defense, but I do think Cordero Patterson has an interesting matchup here. There are still ways in which they could get there.
There's always ways you can get there. It's the NFL. That's why it's hard.
Of course. I think I'm not in love with either team, pulling away in this game, which is why I'm worried.
Yeah, I think the Saints are just I just think the Falcons suck. It is a letdown spot, I guess, but Yeah, I just really can't get behind the Rams or the Steelers. Like anything that's not the Rams or the Steelers, you kind of talk me into. I think the Steelers we just kind of have to save for next week. As much as I don't love that spot and will bet against it probably, I just can't get.
What if Kyler and Hopkins are both ruled out today?
We already used San Fran.
Okay.
Yep. Unfortunately, we used him week 1 on this team.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm actually in my other squad. I believe I have San Fran available, and that is something I'm bringing up. I'm like, I think I want to go. I might go in that direction.
Yeah.
But yeah,
practice again. That's official.
So you really don't want the Dolphins, huh? Tyrod scares you too much.
I could back the Dolphins. I like Baltimore better.
But at least it's like we're getting a bad team out of the way.
Right.
To be determined, I think, on this one. I don't think there's going to be I don't want to use the Rams. Like I pretty much am pretty adamant. Like I don't want to do that.
Okay.
That's a pretty blast. Like it's a 1.5 of value, and we're giving up like a freebie later on in the season for that. Like we can't be that nitty.
If we had Jameis here, I would be 100% on board. Just for the record.
If we had Taysom Hill, I assume you'd be on board with me.
Yes.
Is Taysom Hill unavailable, or are they just going to start Simeon?
I think he's still missing another week with the concussion. Let me. Just because he's doesn't mean here's bad pick. Yeah, I don't think he's available.
Kind of annoying.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me rephrase. It looked like they want to keep Taysom Hill at his multi-positional role. He will be active.
So he's still going to get all the red zone stuff.
Yeah, that does make me feel a bit better. I thought he was missing another week. They just decided because Simeon was in rhythm last week that he's starting. That's a little different.
Yeah, I think that's a kind of a night and day difference, to be honest.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Having him available does make me feel better. And actually, I would like to move off Atlanta in that scenario. So
okay.
I did like them if it was Simeon all day and all night, but knowing that we could get plenty of Taysom, I think that changes things.
Okay, cool. All right, we will discuss further. And of course, under the Circa tab once we make a final decision. All right, let's go game by game as we always do here. Let's start with the game that you and I were talking about off air. Patriots minus 3.5 here at the Panthers. I believe that's at the Panthers, right? Yeah, at the Panthers. Sam Darnold is very questionable for this game with a concussion and a shoulder injury. I can't get behind the Pats without knowing the status of Sam Darnold with Christian McCaffrey likely to play.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Was listed as a participant. He's questionable. It's just what Steve Reed said. Okay, here we go. Here's 5 minutes ago. Quarterback Sam Darnold might be active, but as a backup because his shoulder is much of an issue as his concussion. That's not great English, but basically he has a shoulder issue and a concussion issue. So there looks like they could be leading towards him not playing, but it won't be determined until Sunday.
Huh. Sorry, Aaron Rodgers just went on the Pat McAfee show, and I was reading a highlight clip. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Probably should have said that earlier, Rodgers. Bills minus 15 at the Jaguars here. So Duke and I have some interest in the Jaguars plus 15. Minimal interest, but this is a pretty trappy spot for the Bills. I think this is a very trappy spot for the Bills. Cold weather team going to play in warm Florida. It's going to be 85 degrees. I think we're going to see cramping. The Jaguars put up a complete dud last week in Seattle. I think this number should be closer to like 10, and I'm getting 3 scores here. I'm very interested in the Jaguars.
Yeah, I think I'd officially like to move my Falcons pick to the Jaguars. This is a lot of points. It's another just value play where I don't think they're that much worse, especially playing at home. I tend to agree with you here. I've I've been on here many times pounding that we need to take teams that are, multiple score underdogs, especially if they're not worst team in football. And I don't believe that this Jaguars team is the worst team in football. So I'm with you. I think 15 is just too many points.
Yeah, I think this is a good spot for us. Double-digit favorites have been doing well this season, but they're going to regress. This number is a little too high. So good to see you joining us. Falcons and Saints, 6 by 6.5. Did I move that? Did I move the wrong one? Yeah, you were on the Falcons. I don't mind the Saints minus 6.5 here. I just found better plays. I don't think the Falcons are going to move the football one iota this week. Unless they finally figure out that they have to put Pitts in the slot, until they figure that out, they just have no chance of moving the football consistently without Calvin Ridley. Just none. Zero.
Yeah. Yep.
I knew it last week on the show too, and I couldn't get it was such breaking news. I should have just deleted my entire crunch and started over. I cut it in half, and I was just like, no. If I watched 2 plays, I was like, no, you should just got rid of it all.
Yeah, I was
completely different situation.
I was stubborn like you were. I played Cordero, but I played the full game stack.
It was such a good game. The problem is it was such a good game stack all week, and just for it to immediately change that late on Sunday morning without any heads up was just too late to pull the trigger on a complete revamp. But
right.
So, all right, Raiders -3 here at the Giants. You, me, and Duke are on the Giants. This is a great spot for sad reasons. The Raiders have not had the week that they normally would have. Yes, I know the Giants are on short rest, but they've looked pretty good the last few weeks here. Raiders off the bye, inconsistent head coaching change, offensive scheme going to change. Don't really have a deep threat now to take off the top, unless you think Zay Jones is still can run. I just like this spot for the Giants. West Coast team flying east for a 1 o'clock kickoff. I think it's 1 o'clock kickoff. Let me double check that.
It is.
I love everything about this spot for the Giants.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Raiders situation is too much in flux. Even one of those things would be a problem. Whether, the head coaching change alone, or obviously they lose one of their top receivers. We don't need to get into that, and I don't want to undersell it, but everyone knows what happened there. But you combine both those things, and I think it's just difficult for them to focus. And you're right. Give the Giants credit. They gave Kansas City a game last week. And, everyone's talking about how Kansas City isn't the same team that they were. Sure. But I think we have to give some credit where credit is due on the Giants side of this game as well. Daniel Jones, 96 quarterback rating in that game. Devontae Booker is a guy who runs hard. He was 4 yards a carry.
Devontae Booker revenge game.
Exactly. So I think there's a lot to like here about this team. I think I might have even taken this team at -1, and we're getting points.
Yeah, getting the full field goal here, I think it's why it's going to be definitely in our group. All right, Vikings +6 at the Ravens here. I'm on it with 4 confidence. Tyler on it with 5 confidence. I talked about this. I think the Vikings suck. I've been on the Vikings suck train for the entire season. They're not good. They did us well last week. The only thing we did well was not fall into the Vikings trap. And I just don't think the Vikings are good. They've done nothing to demonstrate they're a good football team. I'm not sure how many more weeks it's going to take for people to adjust their numbers, but this should be a full 7, at least.
Yeah, I'm not a Vikings backer by any means. And like we talked about it, Harbaugh coming off the bye, I think might be the X factor here, is that when you give him time to prepare, he is a very excellent coach. And I think that's really all that needs to be said here. Looking at Baltimore, I will say in terms of rushing defense, nothing more than, league average, which scares you a little that Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison can control the pace a little bit, but I still don't think they're bad enough where that statistic alone would move me off them. I'm back in Harbaugh here.
Yeah, I just don't. The Vikings are good, and betting against the Vikings has been my most successful way to make money this season, and I'm not stopping now. Browns +2.5 here against the Bengals here. Bengals at home -2.5. This is a trap, and I don't know why I'm on it. I'm just looking at that and I went, why did I do this? I don't like this at all. Yeah, this is pretty trappy. Like this should be like 7.
Yeah,
Like the Browns are just bad, and I'm getting off at this game. I don't like this at all. I think the Bengals win, but why is it 2.5 and not like 6?
is it because this Bengals rushing defense has outperformed expectations? Like they really
Probably.
didn't add much in the offseason to. They were an awful run defense last year, and now they're 10th in DVOA, and they really didn't add anything via the rushing defense department. So I'm wondering if this is where they regress to the median against one of the best rushing attacks, and Nick Chubb is enough to keep this game close.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pass. I'm with you on this one. Broncos plus 10 against the Cowboys. I think Cowboys minus 10 is probably the right side, but it's 10 points. That's a lot.
I do too. Yeah, I'm not overly impressed with this Broncos team. I think Dallas's offense is firing on all cylinders right now. I mean, the Broncos are supposed to be like a defensive specialist sort of unit. And you look at them, they're 27th in rushing DVOA, 21st in pass DVOA. So much for having a defensive coach to shut that down. And if you're not slowing down Dak, I mean, the Cowboys defense has played pretty decent. And I'm with you now on Teddy. He's just very unexciting. So he maybe
wow.
He maybe doesn't turn the ball over as much.
As soon as they stop playing the New York teams, the Jaguars, they sucked. Gee whiz.
Maybe it is time to go to Drew Lock.
Yeah, it's the time for you to go to Drew Lock for weeks, but that's okay. They somehow beat the football team last week at home, and they had no business winning that game at all. The football team cannot get out of their own way right now. Couple really bad losses for them in back-to-back weeks. Shouldn't have lost to the Packers. Shouldn't have lost to the Broncos last week. Just bad losses. But yeah, I think the Cowboys are a really good football team. Dak's back. I think they roll here. Texans plus 4.5 at the Dolphins. I mentioned it earlier. I think this is an overreaction to Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor's not good. Like, he's never been good. He was okay. And I guess okay is better than Davis Mills. But come on. On the road at Miami here, the Dolphins have been playing good football lately. I don't get the hate here. Like, yeah, they lost last week, but they put up a good fight. They were just so injury hurt before the bye. I don't really hold it against them. I don't know. I think this is a good spot. I think the Dolphins win. This is going to be a DFS target for me this week. I already know it. So I'm happy to just stay off it and just play it in DFS, but I like the Dolphins a lot this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone knew that Tua was in a spot last week where regression was coming, but I mean, the week before that, what do you have? 292 and 4 touchdowns in a matchup that was beatable, and he comes back here. I think the matchup should be beatable. The only problem I have is this, just relying on this defense that I'm not incredibly fond of. I mean, 26 in passing DVOA, opposing passing offense is 23% above seasonal average, and now you got Tyrod Taylor in there. I don't know, maybe I'm too scared of Tyrod, but that was the only reason I didn't put it here. I do agree with you that I think Tua and potentially some of these pass catchers this week in daily fantasy are going to be worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll have Brandon Cooks too. I think this game shoots out. I just think the Dolphins are going to win this type of shootout. This is the type of game the Texans find ways to lose, and the Dolphins, until this season, like Brian Flores was noted, like was a top coach, and they just were so injury riddled. And it's been a tough schedule for them too. Like, they haven't had an easy schedule here at all this season, right? Like, at New England, Buffalo, at the Raiders when the Raiders were playing good, Colts, Bucks. The Jaguars game in London was not great, but it's a London game, right? Then the Falcons game at home, then they actually had Ridley. I don't know. They've got some soft games coming up too. They've got the Texans, the Jets, the Giants, the Jets. I don't know. I don't think the Dolphins is as bad as we think, but that's fine. I'm happy to just sit this one out, especially because Chargers minus 1.5 against the Eagles, and you guys want to bet against the Eagles. I am all about betting against the Eagles at all times. I'm not on it, but I can absolutely get behind it.
I'm a little scared because we're talking about the Chargers, who have one of the worst rushing defenses, and the Eagles' offense finally comes to life last week, and it's because they used the damn rushing attack. Like Jalen Hurts is pretty pathetic in fantasy.
They ran the ball 1 week. Let's not calm down, all right?
I understand this is just the worst rushing defense, but I think the Chargers are the much better team, and I think if the Eagles are playing from behind, I will take my chances with Jalen Hurts throwing the football. It seems like Justin Herbert returned to full practice, so he's feeling good. That's all I needed to be on the 1.5, but I am a little petrified that this Chargers defense can't stop the run. But even with that, I still back the Chargers.
The Patriots are just a bad matchup for them. The Pats have destroyed them twice now. Like in LA twice. Just I'm not going to overreact. This is an overreaction. The advanced number was 3.5 here. I'm going to take the value. I'm with you. Packers plus 7.5 at the Chiefs. Duke loves the Packers plus 7.5. You like the Chiefs minus 7.5. I got to be honest. I think I lean closer to Duke than you.
Wow. I think the Chiefs have to get right at some point. I know Jordan.
I said that for how many weeks now?
I know, but I'm sticking to it that Patrick Mahomes is not as bad as we've seen the last few weeks. Travis Kelce was brutal last week. I don't think he's that bad. And I think against a second string quarterback, although Devontae Adams is back, that is a little bit of an issue that I didn't think I would have to be dealing with here. I think we lay the score, but I'm happy going in a different direction because it's
two scores, 7.5.
That's what I mean. Laying more than a score here. I don't know what we're going to get from Jordan Love. It certainly could be better than I expect. So,
yeah, I think I just don't think the Chiefs can beat anyone by 2 scores until shown otherwise. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, prove to me you can do it once. But I'm not going to pick it. It's Jordan Love. We have absolutely the range of outcomes here is really good to horrendously bad.
Right.
Like, that's the range of outcomes here. So I'm not going to overreact here one way or another. I'm going to sit it out. Yeah. But I think if I was picking a side, I would pick the Packers side. Cardinals -1 at the 49ers here. This number's already moved to 49ers -2. I bet it at pick because I firmly believe Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins are going to miss. And that's why it's my 5 confidence. I think that this is a pretty great spot for the 49ers. I think they close 5 or 6 point favorites. Let's take the value and hope the Kyler news doesn't come out until after this contest locks.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I read it wrong and I was like, CJ, how are you not on the 49ers? And then of course you got a big old 5 on them when I give it a second look. But yeah, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is clearly hampered.
He's not playing. He's not playing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't believe.
And if he's not playing, why bother playing Kyler? Why?
Right.
The 49ers aren't really a threat to you in the division. Like, just take the L and let's move on. Get healthy.
Yes.
You okay there, Ricky?
Yeah, no, I was just responding to someone who messaged me.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Rams, Titans. Duke has this with a 4 confidence. You guys are out of your bleeping minds. No way am I laying 2 scores against this Titans team. We don't know what we're going to get. Why? Like, they actually might be more balanced now.
That's what I've seen people speculate. I don't know if I agree with it, but I
don't know if I agree with it either, but I certainly would like to find out before I put any sort of money on it.
I mean, Tannehill's whole thing is he's a great play action passer, and they're not going to believe the play action as much without Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, obviously a great back. I don't know. I'm 7.5. It's weird that I feel better about the Chiefs, who have been a clearly worse team than the Rams, but I do.
Yeah. Bears plus 6.5 at the Steelers. Tyler has 1 confidence on the Steelers. I just refuse to bet on Big Ben this season. Like, I acknowledge I'm not the Justin Fields guy, but I just refuse to bet on Big Ben because the day I do is the day Big Ben's going to tear his pec again or his elbow, and then we're going to lose. Like, I mean, it's an instant loss if Mason Rudolph enters the game. Like instant loss. And I'm just not willing to take on that risk because Big Ben will break down at some point. He breaks down every season.
Yeah, and I was doing the betting show with Paulie earlier this week. He loves the the Bears plus 12.5 as a teaser play along with some of the bigger favorites. So, and I agree with that. It's like this game is going to be so low scoring that that the Steelers could easily win by, a field goal and dominate the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
don't think this is going to be back and forth.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of the worst island games we've had the entire season. Hopefully we have a good NBA slate on Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
So just looking at we have a little more consensus on plays, at least. Like, we're going to have 4 core plays this week. The Giants, the Ravens, the Chargers, and the 49ers are going to be core plays, and then we'll rotate in something else. I got to be honest. I really like these plays, so I'm a little worried for us. But
we didn't have that much to yell about. I mean, I think the
Survivor was the biggest controversy, and I knew it was going to be the biggest controversy even before we lost the team last week. This was always there's no great options if Tyrod comes back spot.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for what we do with Survivor. We'll post it, of course, in Elite Sports Betting over under in the Circle contest section. All right, we got to get hot, Ricky. We need a 5-0 week, though. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I am more than prepared for one of those. A few props I posted the last few weeks haven't gone so well, so I'm hoping to get back on both the markets because NBA certainly has been going well. I posted a few multi-unit bets this week that went well at NBA, so we got to catch up here with football.
Yeah, we definitely do. All right. He's Ricky. I'm CJ for the ghost like Rob. Sean behind the glass. We'll see you guys next week.